Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive weekend. I'm back chilling at the crib, man. Can't really have no complaints. It was a good, relaxing weekend. Ready to get my week started. You know what I mean, and get back on the grind. But we on the road to 2K, man. We well into the 1200 in the 1200s, man, and we about to crack that 1300 soon, man. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. And those who are new to the channel, I appreciate you guys coming by. I hope you guys stick around for the long run. You know what I mean? But y'all guys see the thumbnail. You know what I mean? Y'all see exactly what the text says within the thumbnail, man. We gonna speak about Jermall Charlo. You know what I mean? And for those of y'all who really ain't been in the mix with boxing or don't really have a good idea of who Jermall Charlo is, he was and currently is the WBC middleweight champion of the world. You know what I mean? And he's put on some memorable fights in the past. I recognize his talent. I genuinely believe when Jermall Charlo is 100%, he's one of the best fighters in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I honestly believe. Some of my favorite performances from Jermall Charlo go back to the J-Rock Julian Williams fight, the K9 Bundrich fight, and I think the one that stands out to me the most, where it really showed how high level of a fighter that he was against Sergey Derevyanchenko. You know what I'm saying? I just love those three fights right there, man. If you haven't seen that, go check those fights out. It'll give you a good indication on who Jermall Charlo is as a fighter. You know what I mean? Strong, solid foundation, great jab, good counter punching, great killer instinct as well, man. And he packs a punch. You know what I'm saying? So Jermall Charlo is. And he's fundamentally sound. He's defensively responsible, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So I remember Ronnie Shields comparing him to like a smaller version of Evander Holyfield. And that's not necessarily too far-fetched. I understand exactly what he was talking about. But nonetheless, not to get too deep into that side of the topic, man, I'm just giving you an idea of how I look at Jermall Charlo. You know what I mean? And Jermall Charlo has been on a long layoff lately, if you guys haven't been really keeping up. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, I think he hasn't fought since like June of 2021. You know what I mean? I think, to be more specific, if I could be wrong, you guys could go check BoxRec or whatever, but I don't think he's fought since like June 19th of 2021. And that was against Juan Macias Montiel. That was a fight that I remember watching live. You know what I mean? And it wasn't his best performance. You know what I mean? He didn't really look impressive to me. He was the typical Jermall Charlo. You know what I mean? Strong. Showcase his strength and his punching power. He had hurt Montiel several times throughout the fight, but he had made a pretty, you know what I mean, like a pretty bad mistake in just shooting his load in those mid rounds, and then towards the late rounds, he showed extreme signs of fatigue. And Montiel had the momentum at the end of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Where if he was like an elite level guy, Jermall Charlo could have really been in trouble. You know what I mean? So I just think that he underestimated Montiel, and ever since then he's been on this layoff. You know what I'm saying? And since then there's been speculations about him having problems with his ex-wife or current wife. I don't know exactly what the situation is. Some people have alluded to substance abuse with Jermall Charlo, whether we talking about liquor, which he's came out and said that he enjoys his liquor from time to time. So that could be an issue as well that a lot of people have been speaking on. And I just think like mental health issues overall, just becoming a victim of problems that's going on outside of the ring. And he's been doing things like going live and saying like real reckless things. He's getting into conversations with other fighters like Caleb Plant, calling out like podcast interviewers and stuff like that. Not really looking like he's sober in a lot of these events that he goes to. You know what I'm saying? So Jermall Charlo, he's been in his fair amount of drama outside of the ring, and since then he's went over to pretty much get away from the distractions, man. He went out to where is Roy Jones from? He's from he's from, I want to say, I don't think it's Clearwater, but he's from somewhere out no, he's from Pensacola. He's from Pensacola, Florida. He's been out there with Roy Jones training or whatever. Didn't really leave Ronnie Shields. I think it was pretty much like a vacation that had to do with boxing, from all honesty. You know what I mean? And it seems like that's something that he really needed. He seems like he's in a better place mentally. Doesn't seem like he's exactly 100%, but he seems like he's in a better place overall than what he was prior, and that's a step in the right direction. So salute to Jermall for that. You know what I mean? And he's finally coming back. You know what I mean? He's coming back November 25th, which I believe is, I think is this week coming up. You know what I mean? He's coming up this Saturday against Jose Benavidez Jr. For those who don't know who Jose Benavidez Jr. is, that is David Benavidez's brother. You know what I mean? Who's a little bit smaller than David. You know what I mean? Has fought as low as 140 pounds and has infamous fights. Some of his most well-known fights are against Terrence Crawford, of course. They had a crazy beef in the build-up to the fight, and he ended up getting stopped by Terrence Crawford in the later rounds. And most recently, he's fought Danny Garcia at 154 pounds, which was, it was a little bit more. No, let's not get it wrong. It was a competitive fight against Crawford, just that Crawford ended up just getting him with the perfect shot. Danny Garcia, on the other hand, I thought he lost to Danny Garcia as well. So he has two big notable guys, and then he's lost to both of them. You know what I mean? But he's still a game opponent. You know what I mean? I think he has, from what I understand, he said he had a couple fights at 160 pounds. So this is a guy who doesn't have any problems moving up in weight or going down in weight or whatever, what have you. You know what I mean? Fought as low as 140, fought as high as 160 pounds. So I think he just takes them as they come. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the type of fighter that Jose Benavidez Jr. is. And now he's going up against Jermall Charlo. You know what I mean? And with Jermall Charlo being a WBC champ, it seems like they're giving Jermall a whole lot of leeway. You know what I mean? He's still the WBC champion, like I said. But this fight against Jose Benavidez is at a catch weight of 163 pounds. So that's technically a super middleweight contest. So that's letting me know in regards to Jermall Charlo that he either put on a lot of weight during his long layoff, so they just bringing him back down to 60 slowly but surely, or it could be a possibility that he's slowly but surely moving up to the super middleweight division. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, then he might as well just vacate that belt. But, I think he's just weighing his options right now, seeing how the weight feels on him, and then continuing to go on from there. You know what I'm saying? So what I really want to get into with this fight against Jose Benavidez is Jermall Charlo must dominate Jose Benavidez to continue moving forward in a positive way in the sport of boxing. And I'm going to tell you why. You know what I mean? In all honesty, he has to show everyone that he's back. You know what I mean? Like I said, he was a guy who had a promising career. A lot of people put respect on Jermall Charlo's name. They recognized him as the best at 154 at one particular time. And there were people that believed that he was the best middleweight at the time. You know what I mean? He's been avoided by certain fighters like Triple G, Canelo Alvarez, and people of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly feel like with this Jose Benavidez fight, for him to come back and fight a guy who has fought as low as 140 pounds, they're pretty much tossing this man a bone. You know what I mean? They're giving this man they're giving him easy pickings for this fight, for a comeback fight, because Jose Benavidez, he's a solid name, he's known and stuff like that, but there's no reason why he should be in the ring with a full-fledged middleweight like Jermall Charlo. You know what I'm saying? With somebody who has such a great size advantage like Jermall Charlo. You know what I mean? So he really has to take advantage of this moment is what I'm trying to get across. And if he has trouble with somebody of the likes of Jose Benavidez, it's gonna be real bad for his career, because his stock is low at this current time because he hasn't fought in so long and has been getting into all sorts of drama. And boxing fans are getting pretty frustrated with Jermall Charlo and exactly where his career is going. So with that being said, it's like, if he has trouble with Jose Benavidez on top of all of his prior history that he's been having lately, you know what I mean? They're gonna say he's washed. You know what I mean? And that may lose him opportunities against these big money fights. If you guys weren't aware, Canelo Alvarez's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, who's also Canelo's manager, from what I understand, listed Jermall Charlo as Canelo's next opponent after Jermall Charlo, which is Jermall's brother. You know what I mean? He had came out with an interview and said that they were going to face Jermall first, and then after that, they were going to face Jermall. You know what I mean? But since Jermall has been inactive, they've been naming other guys like Jaime Munguia and Carlos Adames and possibly David Benavidez towards the end of the deal with PBC. So if Jermall wants any type of shot to get this big money fight against Canelo Alvarez, he has to look impressive in this fight so he could give Canelo a reason to acknowledge him. If he goes in there and has a tough fight with Jose Benavidez or possibly loses, Canelo, you could forget about that Canelo fight or Canelo Alvarez even looking in your direction. You know what I'm saying? So this is his time. You know what I mean? I understand. And he can say whatever he wants in all honesty, that he doesn't feel pressure or whatever. A lot of these dudes say that, but you better believe the pressure is on for Jermall Charlo to show out in this fight. Because in all honesty, if you want this big money fight, if you want this legacy defining fight, if you want this life-changing money that Canelo Alvarez brings to the table, you better believe you got to get rid of this guy, Jose Benavidez. He honestly doesn't belong in the ring with you at all. You know, and if you, like I said, if you have a tough fight with you, you might get X'd out of that Canelo fight. And you might get pushed away from big fights moving forward. Like, if you were to lose to Jose Benavidez or have a tough time with him, why would David Benavidez look your way? You know what I'm saying? When he got David Morrell, possibly a Canelo fight, and things of that nature, or moving up to 175, pursuing even bigger fights like Bivol and so forth. You know what I mean? Another thing is, you know, he also has a big fight that he could take against Caleb Plant, considering the history that they got now. If he struggles with a Jose Benavidez, that will give Caleb Plant a reason to not even want to look in his direction and pursue another fight. So the pressure is on for Jermall Charlo to perform to the best of his ability. And he has to crush him, man. He has to crush Jose Benavidez. If it looks competitive throughout the course of the fight, a lot of people are going to throw shame. They're going to throw all types of dirt on Jermall Charlo's name, and this is not going to be a good look, man. And that's just what happens when you take long layoffs. You know what I mean? You take long layoffs, and the boxing is the last thing on your mind while these other dudes are staying consistent. Because another thing is Jose Benavidez he's been taking fights, and he's been active for the most part. You know what I'm saying? That's something that he may have, you know what I'm saying, to his advantage, is that he's actually active while you aren't. You know what I mean? That might show in the beginning rounds. You know what I mean? Jermall might pick it up later on, but in terms of who's been staying consistently in the gym and just keeping their tools sharp for the most part, it may seem like it's leaning more towards Jose Benavidez at that time. You know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to beat Jermall, but nonetheless, he has to win this fight. The pressure is on for Jermall to perform to the best of his ability. Will Charlo fall victim to ring rust? We'll just have to wait and see, man. But I honestly believe, like it says in the thumbnail, Benavidez is standing in the way of a big opportunity. How is Jermall Charlo going to react to this? We're just going to have to wait and see, man. But that's my take on this whole situation. If you guys been tuned in this long, I highly appreciate it, man. Like I said, Jermall Charlo must dominate Jose Benavidez if he wants them big money fights in the future, or just the big fights in boxing in general. Because if not, they may not even look in his direction, because they done damn near forgot about him already, coming off of a 2.5-year layoff. You know what I'm saying? That's my take on the situation, man. Let me know what y'all think. Do you think Jermall is going to perform well against Jose Benavidez? Is he going to get back in the picture with these big money fights? Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.